The Inspector General of Police, Usman Akali Baba, has ordered the closure of all satellite units of the Intelligence Response Team and Special Tactical Squad across the country. This comes a day after the arrest of the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police and Head Intelligence Response Team of the Nigeria Police Force, Abba Kyari, and others by authorities of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency over alleged drug dealings. All 7 officers in the satellite unit have been asked to report to the force headquarters, Abuja, for debriefing. A police source confirmed to Channels Television that authorities have directed that 7 officers and men in the unit will be demolished and posted to commands across the country. Meanwhile, the force management also directed that the IRT STS headquarters in Abuja should be fortified and organized for enhanced operational performance to combat emerging trends. In July 2020, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, had directed the disbandment of the satellite offices and bases of the IRT and STS, leaving the headquarters of the units under the State's Investigation Bureau as a response to the public outcry of human rights infringements by some officers of these units. While the civil society organizations commended then disbanded, stressing that most of the alleged atrocities that have dented the image of the police were carried out at the satellite bases, where the operatives acted with impunity. According to them, the IG's decision was to ensure that IRT officers operate in the various state commands under the strict supervision and control of the state commissioners. The commissioners of police would be held responsible for any excesses and failure of the operatives or failure to hold them accountable for a breach of due process. The formation of the 2 units of the police followed moves by the force headquarters to reposition the police and ensure accountability and due process. Okay, the reason for this closure of all those units across the country is because these guys have been acting with impunity. Let me tell you something. Whether you close them or you don't close them, even the IG, all of them, they say na person wey they cash. Na be barao. Because before this man, with the position he attained, Abba Kyari, with the position he attained, he didn't just enter police force and just climb to that level at which he was before he was suspended. That position of DCP. We started gradually. So all of them, all the police force get, whether from the IGP or whatever, we know what is obtainable in this country, in every sectors. If we really have a system, you don't need to disband or to close down all those units because we don't have system in place. Even at that headquarters, all of them, they know what they are doing. If we have a system that is working, you can have as many units as possible. Everything will be centralized. Everything will be monitored. There are some things that will be there that will shaping everybody. You don't even need a guard to be there to be monitoring you. There should be a system. But when it comes to looting, the so-called leadership of this country, they are so experienced or so experts in all of those things. They know how to do manipulation. You can imagine the guts that with the revelation of NDLA, the guts that Abba Kyari had to be doing all of those things. It didn't just start now. It did not just start now. For the fact again that he was suspended and yet he still had opportunity of meeting with his boys and be doing kurukere movements. That's to tell you the audacity and the level at which they have gone in this whole thing. If we have system in place, and that is why you see a lot of things are going haywire. You think those developed countries, you think they don't people are not tempted to do 1 or 2 things, of which they are still doing. But with the way we even do things in this country, it's just with him. Even a baby, a toddler can even notice what the impunity that have been carried out by this so-called people at different level of their jobs or offices or sectors. A toddler will quickly see it. That is to tell you how bad it is. There is no crime, there's no country that is free of crime. There is no country in this world. But because they are tight in those places, because they know what they are doing, and they are tight processes that you, before you can even beat it, it will take a long time. But yeah, anything goes. Even they are caught, they will tell you, and so what's the big deal? That's when you now begin to see, you see the only person that has done it. What of this person? You can see that kind of mentality. And at the end of the day, nothing will still happen. We still remember the grass cutting, the former SGF, or what did they call it? Babacha Lawa. Tell me, how far have they gone with that, with the whole thing? Everything has been swept under the carpet. You will not hear anything again. You won't hear anything again. It's so unfortunate. Whether you close it or you don't close it, that does not still remove the fact that these guys will not still do what they want to do. If Abba Kyari, with the way he was being decorated as a super cop, and yet he was into all those things, forget it. All this one they are doing is just to cover up. If we have system in place, things will work out. You guys are not just serious. Whether you close or you don't close. See, now I'm seeing hearing again that oh, they did not close this and that. They are just bunch of useless people. Bunch of useless people. What they know is just to chop, eat, loot. Because at the end of the day, if you loot, what you want to continue, no be to chop food. If you finish. Well, this is just a calculated attempt to avoid exposing all involved officers and politicians. Because if he is being extradited to the US, the FBI will squeeze out from him all involved. So his accomplices are trying by all means to keep him from leaving the country by all the costs, or by all this case they are putting out. Yes, with all this case they are putting out. They know what they are doing. When masses are clamoring for a change of a particular ideology or philosophy, the elites feel insecure. They feel threatened, or maybe the demands are politically undertoned to hijack the government. The masses see what governments are not seeing. The masses see the low, all the potholes. Hence, special anti-robbery squad. Protect was not in futility, though life was lost, but the truth being unraveled as we speak. Now, when the youth protested for police reform, nothing tangible was done. After many people were killed in the process, truth can never be covered forever. Never. The Nigerian police force is largely operationalized by unscrupulous elements. It is a precarious situation. When the law enforcement agency is enmeshed in corruption of intercontinental degree, they have brought more shame to Nigeria. They feel shame. They don't feel shame. They don't feel ashamed of what they are doing. And life will still move on. They will still look for another means to continue with all these their atrocities. So you think by exposing Abba Kyari that everything will just be okay? Do you know the people he has been working with, and a lot of people who are still doing their own thing in a different way? So closing all these things to me makes no sense, makes no meaning.